Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever time of the day it is in your particular part of the world. I'm Melanie, aka the Batshit Side Chick, and I'm back today with another reading. This one is entitled Wired but Tired. It's subtitled Guidance for the Liminal Space Between the Lunar and the Solar Eclipse. I feel like we've just come through massive change, massive cosmic and earthly events. We've had the full moon eclipse in Pisces, we've had the 9/9 portal, we've had the new moon solar eclipse in Virgo, and then coming up shortly afterwards on the 21st of September, we've got the solar eclipse, swiftly followed on the 23rd of September by the autumn/spring equinox, depending on which hemisphere you're in. Is there any wonder that we are feeling wired but tired? Even you might choose to reverse it and say tired but wired. But what we're granted at the moment is a little bit of peace, a little bit of grace of the liminal space to rebalance, to recalibrate, to integrate the energies and the changes. Currently, and it doesn't really matter if you're not watching the video when I release it, which is, I think, will be Sunday the 14th of September, because these readings are timeless. So whatever point you stumble across this reading, I think it will still hold a message for you. But if you are coming to it in between the 2 September lunar and solar eclipses, then we're being given the opportunity to focus, to catch our breaths before entering into a new phase towards the end of the month. So before I start and you jump ahead, please do interact. Any form of interaction helps the algorithm of the channel, helps me get the message out there to people. I am still doing my free reader subscriber giveaway at 500 subscribers. I think there's something like 481, 82 bibs and bobs. I think people accidentally unsubscribe and resubscribe. Anyhow, once I reach 500 subscribers, I will be choosing our name from the subscriber list at random, and you will win a free reading of your choice, topic of your choice, with me. So please, if you're not already, consider subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything. It's simply turn that notification bell on, and then you'll be alerted every time I drop a reading. Give the video a like, share it with somebody that you think it might resonate with, drop a comment, even if it's only a heart. That interaction shows YouTube that people are choosing to watch the video, and it pushes it higher up, whatever ranking system they have, and more people might have the opportunity of seeing it. Okay, that being said then, one more thing I did want to say. I do have a Facebook page of the same name. I am on other socials, but my Facebook page is my main business page. There's lots of free draws, there's lots of interaction over there, and always a daily tarot card reading. You can also message me on that page, the Batshit Side Chick on Facebook, if you would like a reading. There are all kinds of tailored readings for current events. But if you do choose to book a full reading with me, they are bespoke, and I do tailor make them towards you and your situation and your specific requests. Okay, so let's just center, regroup and think about, we're looking for guidance now in this liminal space, in this pause before we reach the solar eclipse, before we reach the equinox, before the wheel turns. I know it doesn't feel like we've been given any respite with all the craziness that's been going on in the world, but we are. Cosmically, we are being given a chance to sort of pause and to integrate. So, with that being the focus, choose your pile. This will be pile number 1. I'm not going to hold these any closer up to the camera because they have some text on them, and I don't want anybody to choose via what's written. I want you to choose just via the image. Pile number 2, this is the image for you, and pile number 3, this is the image for you. So make your choice, and I will see you at your reading. Hello, pile number 1, about 6:22. Let me just write that down. Okay, this is the card that you chose, and the message is the forgeries of jealousy. I know exactly where that quote comes. Well, it's not an exact quote. It comes from A Midsummer Night's Dream, and it's a line that Titania says to Oberon. They are the king and the queen of the fairies, and they're fighting because of a particular child that Oberon feels belongs in his retinue, and Titania wants to keep in her retinue. And he accuses her of flirting, possibly even having an affair with a human. And she says to him, these are the mind forged for, these are the mind forgeries of jealousy. Maybe she says these are mind forged, no, these are the mind forgeries of jealousy, my lord. In other words, mind forgeries, invented, created, not real, not true. We've got the word jealousy, and I can see that the female figure, really beautiful, soft looking, is sort of bound by these ribbons, and she's holding a mask. So there might be something in this pile about releasing jealousy, comparison, wearing masks, having low self-esteem. Let's just see what comes out. It's card number 41. For people who like to work with numbers, I've turned the pile the wrong way up. There we are. Yeah, these are all easy and nice to see. Let's move them up a touch. Okay, I think you can see everything. I'm going to move them up slightly more again, because I'm not sure that you can see. Yeah, now you can see the bottom of the cards. Okay, so the top row are different oracle cards, and the next 2 rows are tarot cards. This is advice from the Inner Child Oracle. This is the Wisdom of the Stones Oracle, and this is a crystal. This row I'm using the Akashic Tarot, and this row the Star Tarot, which is the current deck I'm working with at the moment for my daily card pulls. Okay. All right. So we've talked about, yeah, definitely with this card here and this being reversed. Okay. You have this rather lovely, rather strange, fantastical card as the advice from your inner child during this liminal time and liminal space. It asks you to let your inner wild child run forth. Um, the horse has butterfly wings, and that's the kind of made up sort of fantastical creation that when we're children, our minds can throw up. I think children have a wild, pretty intense connection to their senses and to their feelings and to their body in a way that we as adults don't. This is about, I talked about binds, these ribbons binding her. This is about remembering to let yourself play. Drop into the body and do uh, funny, naughty things, pranks maybe making mud pies, getting dirty, getting messy, splashing in puddles, finger painting. It's about playing and exploring, possibly even just allowing your mind to and your fantasies and your sense of adventure to run free. Maybe even to create during this period. It's definitely about unbinding with views of the ego. And it is here with the next card that you've got, lay it on the altar. It's give it up to God, Goddess, Spirit. Don't carry your burdens all alone. You've got the words, hand it over to Spirit, soften, surrender and forgive. You've got this pink heart chakra energy here and these pink petals of the muse. Put your burdens down. Try not to worry during this time. Stay open, stay heart-centered to being supported either by spirit, like I said, or a human. And it's an opportunity to forgive yourself or forgive others and revert back to a much more innocent, playful state. It really will lift your vibration and help you, because what you've got coming is really lovely. So drop your shoulders, breathe. The advice from the crystals is this raw morganite. It's really beautiful, really soft and gentle, and there are faces in the crystals. This one looks to be female and she's got her eyes closed. So it's something about trusting. It's about, it follows actually really nicely with this one, soften, surrender and forgive, because it's about sensitivity and gentleness, having a greater sense of empathy, compassion, vulnerability, and self-forgiveness is coming up again. Just be kinder to yourself. It's raw, so it's authentic, it's not been polished. Allow your sort of real, true self to be on display. And that might make you feel a little bit raw and vulnerable. But that's the advice. That's the advice from the tarot. Sorry, from the oracles. We move on to tarot. bearing in mind you've got the 4 degrees of jealousy, you've got this 4 of roses, and this particular deck doesn't, it only very loosely corresponds to the suits, but it is a suit of emotion. So the closest suit it would be cups. And you've got these 3 characters staring into a mirror, but only one character is being reflected. There's something about illusions and seeing things and not seeing things correctly. Illusions, deceptions, possibly even delusions, and paranoia. It's asking you to see yourself or another, but I think it's yourself, clearly. There's something about comparison to others and possibly seeing yourself as less and not feeling great about yourself and needing to work on your self-esteem at this time. I might come back to this card when I've read these 2 cards. You have the Muse in reverse. It's a major arcana in this deck, and there's this goddess. She's playing the panpipes. She has her I've forgotten the name of the bowl now, where she would do offerings. We've got all of these pink rose petals of love, but it's reversed. So you are not listening to something, you're not hearing the calling. You're not hearing, you're not listening, you're not following, you're choosing to ignore, you're choosing to distort a message from spirit. And I'm going to go quickly onto this because from the 4 of roses, you have the 5 of roses and the garden here. And this card has always struck me as quite odd because the little boy is very clearly in Tudor clothing, whereas the little girl appears to be in much more modern dress. He's playing with a slingshot and he's aiming at something we can't see, possibly outside of the garden. And the little girl is playing with a magnifying glass and she's looking closely at a butterfly. Vision, both children, the boy needs to use his sight to shoot the stone from the slingshot. The little girl is looking in closer, magnifying her vision. And going back to views here and having a distorted view of self or others at the moment. And I do think it's linked to self-esteem. You might not be feeling good about yourself. Hence your inner child asking you to let your imagination run wild, let your inner child run forth. She's very young looking, very youthful. This deck asks us to look at the next card with the magnifying glass and the slingshot. What is being aimed at? What needs closer examination? And the next card would be the Sun. Happiest card in the deck. Here's the turn. Here's what maybe the solar eclipse will bring you. if you can drop into this heart space, lay your worries on the altar, be more playful, drop the bindings of the ego. So the child, the girl is looking at a butterfly. This sun card on this deck, you've got a butterfly emerging from the purple flower at the center. The sun card often features a naked baby or toddler. So again, it's this reminder to strip back, be raw, be innocent, be vulnerable, be childlike. There lies the transformation for you. There's a sunflower on either side. There's a field of sunflowers. What is coming in for you is happy and bright. Yeah, the wheel is turning. The wheel's turning in your favour. Got their hand of Hamza, the hand of fate, outlined right here at the centre. And it's angelic, it's divinely guided change. The wheel's turning forward. Final card is the Nine of Wands. Defending. Well, no, actually, it's asking you don't need to defend, because normally on the Nine of Wands, the male character is carrying the burden of the 9 sticks on his back. The 9 sticks are not on his back. He's only got the 1 stick, the 1 wand, which is connecting into the cosmos, to the moon. Oh, it couldn't be more perfect, actually, between the eclipses, between this moon and this sun. And it's touching his heart space and lighting him up here. He looks weary and exhausted, but actually he's being helped. He has the black wolf and the white wolf, each taking care of the 4 wands on either side for him. So it's a card of burden. Put those worries down now. Do surrender, give it up. Give yourself a break, stop being so hard on yourself and try to relax, because you're moving into a better, brighter, happier, more destined, more fated, more aligned energy. Pile number 1, that's been your reading. Just let yourself breathe, treat yourself kindly, and be more raw and more authentic. And possibly that will turn this muse the right way up, and it will allow you to be more in tune, more in flow, more in harmony, and get these 2 cards here into perspective. Pile number 1, that has been your wired but tired reading. Brightest blessings to you, pile number 1. Nope, that's pile number 3. Pile number 2. We are at 23:56. Pile number 2, welcome to your reading. So you were drawn to this card, which says proud but pitiless. Okay. This is about reclaiming your power, finding your voice and speaking up. That's all I want to say until I've turned the rest of the cards over. Proud and pitiless. Pitiless sounds like merciless. It sounds quite cruel, but that is not what this card is about at all. It's about holding your boundaries and not compromising for anyone. Interesting. Pile number 1 had one of these cards upside down, also in reverse, and I don't tend to store cards in reverse. Right. Okay, the liminal space for you is actually giving you lots of advice. It's quite clear. There's a lot of guidance here. Let me go back to the proud and pitiless. This is Queen energy. This is Mab herself, Queen of the Fairies. It's not, okay, there's the pitiless. It's not time for compassion or compromise. It is absolutely not a time for you to be concerned with being seen as nice or easygoing or accommodating. You don't need to be rude or aggressive or forceful. The energy is being assertive, really, standing in your own power. This queen energy, enforcing boundaries quite rigidly and not allowing anybody to step over your own personal sovereignty. It comes with quite a strong reminder not to get drawn into manipulation of any kind, mind games, anything that can destabilize you and your belief in yourself, because balance is upside down. 8 of forces, elemental forces. This is about power, the lightning bolt. You've got the waterfall there. You've got the emperor. You've got 3 big cards talking about power along with Mab. Okay, so bear that in mind. From your inner child oracle, you have card 25. Listen, your inner child has something to say. And she's presented as a little angel here, quite a small child that's trying to reach out and tell you something. I think I know what she's trying to tell you, because this is all about speaking up, speaking your truth, standing up for yourself. So she might be asking you to listen to a child version of yourself that was perhaps suppressed, was perhaps asked to play nice, to compromise. Good girls, good boys, don't make a fuss, make a scene. And I think it's what you're being asked, or the guidance, you're not being asked, the guidance to you is to listen really closely to that child and what she has to say to you about well, it could be about self-love and self-worth. Yeah, only nice children are lovable. Something along those lines. Guidance from the wisdom of the stones is dancing with the stones, movement, teamwork, and partnership. We've got a lot of soul and elemental energy until the very last card. And you have the lovers and you have union here. Okay, so it could be a sort of soulmate energy. It could be very much about finding your own sort of spiritual people and rejecting, putting up boundaries for people who are not an energetic match, who don't encourage and support this queen-like energy. Dancing with the stones then. These stones are the Callanish stones, standing stones. They're in Scotland and they are absolutely connected to lunar energy. So we're in the liminal space here, and they're dancing by this incredibly magical light, almost sort of northern light energy. I don't know if you can see the sort of pinks and yellows that are faintly coming up. We've got two figures here who are dancing, and there's a spiral in the middle. It is asking you during this period to connect with others. If you are finding your voice and enforcing boundaries, then the support of others, be it in spirit, your spirit team, your angels, your guides, or real human people. You want to be with people who are sort of like these standing stones, these pillars, people who will support your growth. There is power in collective movement, coming together to dance. It's asking you to collaborate and flow with people, but your kind of people, not these manipulative sort of manipulative, I was going to say goalkeepers, game players, that's right. Not these manipulative sort of game players. Yeah, with the Aqua Aura quartz, it is because these cards have a face in the crystals, and this is a child's face. And it's a really magical, iridescent, sparkling, wonderful card, full of magic. Dog's having a drink. Hopefully that's not going to throw you off. Okay. This is a really powerful reading, actually. It's an empowering reading. It's asking you to connect to your own infinite potential. It's offering a renewed sense of purpose. And as I'm saying that, I'm looking through the camera. Sometimes looking through the camera doesn't help me, but this does, because you can see all of this kind of solar plexus, this yellow energy going up into the more spiritual colours. It's gifting you a renewed sense of purpose and wonder and awe. And I've said it's got the child's face in there. It's perhaps asking you to really connect to this little child and this voice that was suppressed and see her. It reminds me of a meditation I once did, and I saw my 4-year-old self, and she was dancing and prancing about, being this little fairy creature, and I was absolutely in awe of her. And I still hold that with me, that I was able to see this little sort of 4 or 5-year-old and just appreciate how twinkly and shiny and bright she was. There's something about that. Appreciating your own magic. Because something's out of balance. Forces. You've got a tower. You've got a waterfall. No, I'm not linking that to any particular suit or energy, actually. Something's out of balance. If I hold it upright, you can see a desk. Everything's been left neatly on that desk. Work's been finished. Table's left neat and tidy for the next day. And there is it's a door into another room where we can see brilliant sunshine. It's about getting the right balance between work and play. And time for work is over, actually, when it's in the upright. Your card isn't in the upright, which means you're possibly working too hard, you're possibly over, yeah, all right, that might be what it might actually be enforcing and holding boundaries around work, around employment, around people sort of taking advantage of your time and overtime. Because you've got the lightning bolt, incredibly powerful elemental energies here, lightning and the waterfall, both incredibly powerful, and your reading is all about power. The lightning bolt carries the energy of the tower. It's raining heavily. There's a huge puddle here in which the lightning strike is being mirrored. The lightning is hitting this tree, which is an established tree. It's in leaf, it's rather magnificent. But there's the home. So it could be something quite shocking, something quite dramatic and powerful that will possibly uproot, will change, will burn away something in your life. But your home, everything's safe. Possibly that tree just has to come down, it has to fall like the tower. But the lightning bolt is also, I'm actually seeing this as you, when you realise your own power and stand in it. You will strike what appear to be fairly big and substantial things and burn them out of your way. Who knows, maybe that tree is in the way and spoiling your view. You're not harmed, but there's something possibly quite shocking and dramatic. And I can imagine that's true if all your life you've played nice, you've compromised, you've held your tongue, and suddenly circumstances compel you to speak up for yourself and stand in your truth. That would be quite shocking. I know there's situations where I've done it and afterwards I've absolutely shaken. But at the time, the absolute power of my voice and power of my conviction have just rung out so true. This is asking you to see your power in another way, as well as the lightning strike, it's the waterfall. And the absolute power of water. You know, we think of water as soft and gentle and flowy, but water can be hard as ice. The power of water during a flood, if a dam bursts, is incredible. There's going to be sort of, interestingly, I said a dam bursting, almost like a breaking of the dam of your emotions, of blocks, where all of a sudden you might not give a rat's ass about the approval of people that you've got nothing but contempt for anyway. This is telling the boss, I'm absolutely not doing your overtime. If you don't like it, you can shove your job type energy. You've got the emperor, total, higher than all of the kings here, totally standing in your power. You've got, again, beautiful for this sort of in between the eclipses, you've got the sun and the moon up here in harmony, in balance. The black horse and the white horse on either side of you. You have this lioness on one side. You've got your feet on this colourful dragon below you. This is somebody who is earthy and grounded. This is sort of the symbol of squashing the dragon, but also drawing the power up of the dragon. He's got the eagle head here. You've got all of this animal imagery, horsepower, freedom, liberation, dragon energy, the wisdom and the foresight of the eagle. This is lovely. How many cards about power have you got? You've got those three there. And what are you being granted by standing in your power, by standing in your truth, by holding your boundaries really firm, and yet leaving enough space that you don't shut everybody out. You can dance with the stones, with the people who are your people or your person even. Once you do that, full new beginnings, off on a magical journey. And it's lovely. You're doing it under the stars, you're doing it under the moonlight, you're wearing yellow, the colour of optimism and happiness. This spiral on your chest, on your heart. Absolutely setting forward with enthusiasm on your mission. You've got this crow on one side, butterfly on the other. So wisdom, intuition, freedom. What I really love is you've been, rather than following a path, you've been following this wiggly stream, and you reach this pool, and there's a crocodile, which is again about wisdom. But the way he's lying, the fool is going to step on his back and just use him as a stepping stone and carry on. Absolutely not a threat, not a danger. You're being heavenly and divinely protected. The amount of animals in this last two cards which are watching out for you and telling you, yep, it's time for the new you to come through. And it will lead to harmony and balance, the lovers. This might be integrating the little, let me start with this first, the little child in you that's always had this sort of voice suppressed, integrating this with the new standing up for yourself. So this might actually be the two sides of you. You've got perfect balance and mastery here. But this card does carry a sort of a love and a soulmate energy, and almost having somebody mirrored back to you. It'd be beautiful for you if you did listen and step into your voice, find your power, and by doing that, you found your tribe and you've actually found your divine counterpart, because that's the energy of this particular lovers. It's been blessed. We've got the full sun above, we've got the angel, we've got the dove of peace, sending this energy straight down to this divine cup between the two of them. They're kneeling, they're equal, both of their trees, although his is this golden oak and hers is this red apple or pomegranate tree. All these butterflies, freedom, transformation being released. Freedom, transformation, speak your truth, listen to your inner child, listen to the right people that you collaborate with, and dance in harmony. Super, super powerful pile number 2. Brightest blessings to you. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose this card, then this is your pile. We're about 43, I think. Somewhere like that. That will help me when I come to edit in the timestamps. Okay, right, you've got extremity of rage. This is really powerful. It looks really dark. I'm going to hold my tongue a minute on that until I see the rest of the cards, pile number 3. Yep. Okay, I could do your reading off that. I know what this is about. Oh. Okay. Oh, this is just lovely. You're going through it. This is perhaps quite hard at the moment, the place that you're in. And I might feel called to read from the book, and I haven't for the other two for this. This is a massive sort of transformational time for you. But you'll have to, not have to, but you may be going through an awful lot of shadow work or inner work. The card asks you to feel your anger. You've got here, become aware, listen to the wisdom of the body, feel it. Where are you holding your anger in your body? And it might actually be causing you pain. And it's the idea that you may have grown up around the notion that rage is a losing control, anger is shameful. And the advice is, it's only shameful if you think it is. Because actually, righteous anger can be healing and it can be cleansing. It's healthy to feel anger and hatred. Yeah, even hatred. If you've been harmed or suppressed or ill-treated, by channeling anger, you can channel it into really positive, dynamic change. But it's got to be done in a healthy way, healthy, balanced environment. But it needs to come out in order to heal. That suppressed rage, if it's not dealt with, it's volcanic and it could possibly be dangerous both to yourself and possibly to others. And when it comes out, if it's not done in a healthy way, in the right kind of environment, in a safe manner, it could be damaging. You've got, as your first oracle, become aware, listen to the wisdom of your body. And you've got the power of this. Leopard, cheetah, leopard, I think. Leopard or panther, because panthers aren't panthers black leopards anyway. I don't know. This big jungle cat. This power and all of this power and energy above. Listen to the wisdom of your body. It really is a warning here, particularly to be in tune with your body, because holding this anger in can lead to all kinds of physical illnesses, ailments, aches, pains, upset. You know, the idea that if your shoulders are aching, it's because you're too burdened, your backache, you know, you're carrying too much, that kind of thing. Tummy ache, you know, your sacral, okay. And the orange and the yellow, thank you, Spirit. Your sacral and your solar plexus, your power, you're holding in that power. And it needs to come out. Pile number 3, you really might benefit from meditation, breath works, Reiki session, physiotherapy. And that's followed through. I tell you, I can see sort of an arch here, a gateway, a portal even. And you have the cave, retreat, time out, self-care, slow down. And we have this man embracing himself in this cave, this womb-like cave, where it's safe, for him to feel all of the emotions, the negative emotions that you may have taught yourself to suppress. That is going to lead, that inner work is going to lead to so much for you. Pile number 3. I'm definitely going to come back and read this card for you from the book. You have fluorite, and I'm noticing you've got 36 there, 3 and a 6, which makes a 9. You've got 6, you've got 24 in here, which makes a 6. 3, 6, 9. It's kind of divine timing, this is for you. If you can crack this and allow yourself to acknowledge that rage is healthy, anger is healthy when it's justified, then what lies ahead after the solar eclipse, after the equinox for you, is just incredible. You've got fluorite. I love this. It's one of my favorite stones. It's about clarity. It's about purity. It's an end to cluttered thinking, and I'm going to say cluttered feelings. It brings a renewed sense of enthusiasm, and it's almost like fog's lifting, and you can suddenly, you know, in the mist you can't see very much, and then suddenly you see a shape, and then suddenly you see colour. It's got that energy to it. The way is clear. You really might want to work with fluorite as a crystal. Again, the advice is to slow down and to consciously release any confusions or distractions. Release that anger. Listen to the wisdom of your body. Where are you holding the pain? How can you release it? How can you unblock yourself? Take the time out to do that and to focus on you and self-love and self-nurture, because what is coming is incredible. You have a major arcana here and 2 here. You're not going to get much bigger than the world and death. The journey. This is my favourite minor arcana, I think, in this deck, although we might have 4 or 5 favourites from this deck. It's utterly beautiful. It's setting out on a new, exciting voyage of knowledge, of adventure, of discovery. It's dawn, new day, it's a new dawn. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm looking at the pinky, reddy, orangey colours here. Unlocking those security issues. And you are heading off on an adventure because you've got Paths Unknown, another one that I absolutely love. And you're there, you've got all of your knowledge with you in your little knapsack of scrolls, all these little magical woodland animals, and there are 3 paths, and you're pausing and you're thinking, doesn't matter which path, they're all there, they're all for exploration. Follow the sunlight, follow your intuition, follow your guidance. This card, spring and autumn. I know in the Northern Hemisphere we are heading into autumn. You might be in the Southern Hemisphere if you pick this card, in which case you're heading into spring. But I wanted to start singing, and I won't sing for you because I sing terribly badly. Something about you are the springtime of my life. And that's this energy. It's going to feel new after you've released all this darkness. What's the word? Not shed, but you don't sloth. Do you sloth? And you don't sloth. Slough. I'm not getting the word right, but scrubbed, sloughed. All of this energy off. Anyway, once you've let all of this anger out and you've had I'm so exhausted now, I've rested. And then the sense of absolute release, the catharsis. The world's your oyster. This is the springtime of your life. Now you're flowing. Now you're in your heart-centered energy with the Knight of Cups. Look at this. Magical unicorn leading. Somebody might be coming in with a cup of love for you. You might be feeling a cup of love for yourself. That cup can now be filled up once that rage has gone. And look at what you're attracting. You are attracting all these tiny little fish. You're now magnetic. You're now attracting. You're attracting in the right kind of people because you are being your authentic self. World, completion of the cycle. Absolutely beautiful. You've got the world tree here, all of these butterflies being released, all of these flowers. She has a white raven surrounding and protecting her. The world is your oyster, I've already said it. You've got these turtles swimming. As above, so below. It's completion. You've got these magical little kingfishers or hummingbirds. This is glorious. Death. Nothing to be scared of. Death to the old. A burning away because you've got this phoenixy peacock type creature here. This is the rage. This is the burning rage. This is avoiding the volcano, because after you allow the anger to erupt and erupt healthily, and to feel the anger and not to feel shame connected to the anger, this is the phoenix arising from the ashes. And you can now sort of dance among the stars. And it's a new beginning. And she's holding her hands out here. This I can't see her face in the camera. Where is she? Here. This dancing sort of lunar creature is holding her hands out, ready to accept this transformation. This one single butterfly here of release. Pile number 3, I said I was going to read for you because I think this card is super important. Oh, and she's protected, okay, up here with this black tourmaline, this black onyx maybe. Let me read anyway. Because out of all of the piles, this is the biggest release for you in this liminal space, if you release this anger. Okay, it says that rage in its way can rush through you like beauty or pleasure, much like the sparkle of a killing frost or the roar of a wildfire. Human teachings that place emotion on a spectrum of bad to good are ridiculous. Much like you declaring that one day's weather passes muster, whilst another is dreary, nasty, or simply should not be. How pathetic it is to rail against such forces of nature, rather than making the most of them and learning to channel the unique beauty and magic they contain. If you try pulling back from an emotion, it's like pulling back an arrow in a bow. Your attempt will, at best, postpone its expression, while all the while increasing its momentum and range. Instead, this is really good advice for you. Locate and identify your rage. Where is it? Where do you hold it in your body? Why are you angry and at whom? It's even possible that you're holding back a feeling akin to hate. Do not hold back. Admitting your feelings to yourself, even your revenge fantasies, hurts no one. And without acknowledging that you hold them, you can never let them go, let alone channel them towards creating positive change. If you've been trained to believe that rage is toxic, it will cause grievous harm to you and others. Waste no time in throwing off the yoke of emotional oppression. These teachings are delusional and naive, and they're designed to keep you from knowing yourself truly, which in turn will keep you from your power. Without rage, citizens would never rise up against dictators or take the steps necessary to alleviate social injustice. Might be a heavy clue as to who you're feeling or what you're feeling so angry against there. Many a legendary career was chosen out of rage at the existing state of affairs. Even when your rage might be considered disproportionate or inappropriate, it must be felt before you can channel its wisdom and eventually let it go. Sometimes the healthiest thing is for a forest to burn. Once you're clear on exactly how you feel it. Punch your pillow if you need to. Cry. Go somewhere where you can yell and scream. Dance to music that mirrors your feeling. Create art. That's talking about creativity and rage. Channel it healthily. Talk to a friend or a support person that you can trust. Let your rage lead you to your courageous determination and act on it. I knew I needed to read that for you. Pile number 3. That has been your tired but wired, wired but tired reading. Brightest blessings. Pile number 3.